Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We're on a United show today, Devil's Advocate. I'm your host, Keane, and today I am joined by two very special guests. As always, to the right of me, I'm joined by Jamie McCoy, and below me, I'm joined by, as ever, by the Wayne Rooney 10, as you can see in his handle, Mr. Shane Dowley. Today, we are here to talk all things Manchester United here today. Obviously, we're coming off the back of the Liverpool-Manchester United game the weekend. We will be talking about that firstly tonight. Also, we will be looking at the Fulham game in detail as well coming up this week. And also, we are going to be analysing the imminent arrival of Amad Diallo into Manchester United squad, as it seems he's going to be making, it looks like Manchester United are looking for him to make an instant impact in the squad. So all things considered, we have a lot to talk about tonight here across the show. So I suppose, look, before we dive into things, I'm just going to have a quick chat here, lads, first, before we get into things topic heavy here tonight. Jamie, I'm just going to come to you first. How are you feeling today? How's your form?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, mate. Ready to go. Got the main man with me this weekend, so ready to go. Good to get Shane on finally and hear what he's got to say. He talks a good game in the comments, so we'll see what's going on. But good to see you boys.
And Shane, how are you today? I suppose with the lockdown, you're yourself, you're kind of happy the construction industry is kind of closed down. So how are you today?
I'm living it up. I just feet up now all day, every day, just relax. That's me.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear that both of you are in good form, and you're both in good form after the weekend, which is something that we're just going to dive into straight away. Obviously, look, let's just address it straight away. Manchester United were played the biggest game in English football on the weekend. It was Manchester United versus Liverpool. For both teams, obviously, it was first versus second. Actually, first versus third, actually, because Liverpool were in third place by the time that game started. So let me just rephrase that. And for Manchester United, it was seen as an opportunity for them to make a statement in the title race. For Liverpool, it was a chance for them to get their first goal of 2021 and try to pick up a bit of form, because they've been playing very inconsistent as of late. So all things considered, there's massive pressure on both teams. Obviously, it ended as a 0-0 draw. People say Manchester United had the better of the chances. We're going to dive into that straight away. I'm firstly going to come to you, Jamie. What are your overall thoughts on the Liverpool game on the weekend, and how would you assess the result in the end?
I think as a whole, it's a good result, because if you'd have asked me at the start of the game whether I took on a draw, I would have. So I can't really backtrack on myself and say I wasn't happy with a draw. But I know I sent a picture into the group chat of me and the missus when she had the Liverpool top on, and she was piping up a little bit for the first half an hour, and then she settled down a little bit when we started sussing them out. But I think it's a long time since Ferguson that I've went to Anfield and been disappointed we come away with. I think we played out the game really well. We smothered them of their chances for the first 30 minutes and we let them play their football. And then I think we kind of got a hold of the game, and fair play to Solskjaer, because he did go brave with Cavani around the 60th minute. And I thought, you know what, he fancies the job here. He's worked them out and he's going to go for this. And my heart was pounding through the whole game, because it's never an enjoyable experience when you play them. But I was really proud of the team. I think out of both sets of supporters, I think we were probably the happier club with the performance-wise. I think they were very good for half an hour, but other than that, I can't remember them really really threatening us to the point where I thought their goals coming here. And they've got a fantastic front three, and luckily they don't have a good striker, because their main chance fell to. I'm not being disrespectful to him, but he's useless in front of goal. So we're lucky it fell to him and not Mane or Salah, really. But I think the team was spot on. I think we struggled possession-wise. We give the ball away a little bit too much from our liking in the first 45 minutes, but we seemed to get a little bit of a hold of it towards the sort of middle, the start to the middle of the second half, and we really kicked on. And I feel like if there was another 10 minutes in the game, we would have got the winner. I mean, like if Pogba puts that ball anywhere else apart from straight at Alisson, we win that game 1-0, you know. And then everybody's really talking about the title challenge, which I know we'll come on to later, sorry, so I won't mention it. But yeah, on a whole, I was chuffed with the point, and it was more of a pre-match. I was sitting on my couch and I was thinking, do you know what? This is for me to show me that we're results against these so-called big teams now. And everybody keeps writing us off week after week after week, and we keep delivering. And I was just proud of the fact that we went there and we held our own with arguably the best team in the country. And if they're the standard, we ain't far away at all. And I keep saying it, we're a couple of players away and we're going to be around for a long time. But don't write us off this season, man. Really don't write us off, because I feel like we've got the bit between our teeth. And I think the group of players we have love the fact that everybody's writing us off. And it keeps motoring and motoring and motoring. And we just keep delivering when we need to. It's not always pretty, but it ain't about pretty football sometimes. It's about results. And I feel like we're going on the right track. I could spend all night talking about this game and breaking it all down, but I'm going to shut up now because Mr. Dowley's taken over.
Yeah, and as Jamie said there, Shane, I'm going to give the same question to you. In terms of this game against Liverpool, there's been a lot of talk about Manchester United's so-called performance from, let's just say, Liverpool fans, because Manchester United fans, like, we all know what to expect when we go to Anfield. We all have a certain expectation when we go to Anfield, but there seems to be a lot of talk around the Liverpool fan base about Manchester United's performance. They seem to be quite rattled in terms of Manchester United's performance. For you, we'll get to the Liverpool part in a minute, but for you, just from your perspective, how would you assess Manchester United's performance on Sunday?
I didn't actually think we played that well, but neither did Liverpool. Like, before the game, I would have been delighted with a point. So it's hard to really complain. But just looking at how the game actually went, like, we obviously wanted to sit in and hit them on the break, but like, Bruno didn't play well and Rashford didn't play well, and they're probably our best two players on the break. So we just couldn't, we just didn't click. Like, we couldn't hit them on the break because not that we didn't try, we just weren't able to. But looking how the game panned out, like, we still probably should have won, so I'm okay with the point. But the chances we had compared to them, you kind of feel like it's a missed opportunity, because it's the one, like, you won't get a better chance to beat Liverpool at Anfield now over the injuries they had and no fans being in the stadium, especially for a United game. That's massive. So it kind of feels like a missed opportunity, but at the same time, like, you can't really complain that much, because a point away at Anfield is always a good result, but the setup for Mali, I didn't mind, because in my life, the only manager who's gone to the only time I've seen United go to Anfield and not want to sit in was Van Gaal. Van Gaal's the only one who's gone to Anfield and actually just played on the front foot, and we played him off the park that day. So I've no problem with the setup from Oli. It's very typical Klopp to just act like a child, when a team doesn't play into his hands and he wants to, it's stupid, it's ridiculous. Like, that's like Liverpool have the best two fullbacks in the world. That's like me saying don't spam crosses. So you're obviously going to do what you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to give my thoughts now on this, because I've been chomping at the bit since Sunday evening to give my thoughts in this game. First of all, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got his team selection spot on. I think when you consider Liverpool's threat at Anfield, you're going to have to start Fred McTominay in there, because Liverpool are going to have a high energy midfield, or a supposed high energy game. So, like, in order for Manchester United to stay in the game and not get battered in the first 20 minutes, is what Jurgen Klopp wanted to do. You play Fred McTominay because they have a high energy approach. You also take into consideration Liverpool are last season's champions. The supposed best Liverpool team in the last 30 years. Manchester United are not going to go to Anfield and roll over for them. And you look at people such as Jason McAteer, who were saying Manchester United were in a false position. You look at Jamie Carragher on Monday Night Football, and you look at him saying, this is not the Manchester United way. Like under Sir Alex Ferguson, when
That's so. Can I just say about Carragher? That's just so disingenuous from Carragher, because he knows United never, like United always set up to hit Liverpool on the break at Anfield. It's just always been the way. He's purposely being disingenuous just to get a dig because he's upset. Like, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
yeah, but I'm just going to reiterate just what you said there, because Jamie Carragher, right? He played in one of the worst Liverpool teams in the last 30 years. He was probably one of the worst defenders in the Liverpool team in the last 30 years.
Fucking shit.
He's, you know, like he's a bum version, you know, of fucking Steve Bruce. Do you know what I mean? Like that's literally what Jamie Carragher is. And like when you take into consideration, right, Manchester United, when we were dominating, when we were winning trebles, when we were winning three-peats, when we were winning FA Cups, whatever you want to call it, Manchester United never went to Anfield and opened up in the first 20 minutes, half an hour of a game, right? So you're talking about this Manchester United team that's in transition, that has the two centre-backs of Lindelof and Maguire, and Luke Shaw at left-back, Wan-Bissaka at right-back. You're telling me that Manchester United are going to play a high line against the supposed best front three in European football? Jurgen Klopp, you must be having a fucking laugh, boy, because honest to God, what kind of team would do that, right? You look historically in the last 5 years, the Jurgen Klopp era, right? I'm going to rattle off all these teams that went to Anfield and played a high line. Barcelona, right? They had a big lead coming from the new camp. Go to Anfield, play a high line, get battered. Bayern Munich, last season's Champions League holders. They went the season before when Liverpool won the Champions League. They went to Anfield, played a high line, got battered. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City team, arguably one of the best ever teams to play in the Premier League's history, and that got 100 points. They went to Anfield on multiple occasions, played a high line, got battered. Arsenal, they went to Anfield, played a high line, got battered, but they get battered every week anyway. But when you actually take it into consideration, when you take this into consideration, Tottenham Hotspur as well.
Feeling it, but.
But when you take this into consideration, Tottenham Hotspur under Maurizio Pochettino, which was one of the best attacking teams in English football in the modern era, when you actually take this into consideration, all of these teams have sat at Anfield with a low block, right? You take into consideration also Atletico Madrid last season when they knocked Liverpool out of the Champions League. They showed the blueprint how to beat Liverpool at Anfield and how to get a result out there. You defend narrow your back four and you have wingers working hard to shut out number one, them fullbacks stopping from spamming crosses, and also from stopping the front three coming in narrow to attack. So just after naming off all them quality teams who are supposed better quality than this Manchester United team, why in God's green earth will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer go there and go gung-ho in Anfield, right? Why would he do that? When you really consider this, it's absurd. And then for all these Liverpool fans, pundits, BN Sports, whoever it is, because I've been seeing a shitload of fucking these things on my news feed, on Twitter, on Facebook in the last kind of 48 hours. These people are paid to be pundits, but do these people actually have football knowledge? Do they do their research? Because they clearly don't. They clearly don't. And to be fair, how they get paid for it is just a disgrace. But a great point for Manchester United. And you know what I will say is, we did show that we can compete with these teams, because we got the better chances in that game. Let's be frank about this. Jurgen Klopp said in his post-match interview that a team comes to Anfield and parks the bus. Hold on there a second, mate. Manchester United had more shots on target than you on Sunday, and also, wasn't it Thiago was meant to be this like generational midfielder? Luke Shaw, who's supposedly overweight, made a fucking show of him. Put him on his fucking arse. So Jurgen Klopp, you need to really reevaluate your attitude, because at the end of the day, it's all well and good when people call you like you're a fantastic manager. I'll never take that away from him. Jurgen Klopp is a fantastic manager, but he's one of the sorest losers in the game. Like, you look at the top managers like Pep Guardiola, you look at top managers, even Jose Mourinho. Like Jose Mourinho, right? Like he would, he would like to criticize teams, but when his team loses and then he knows he's the worst team, he'll say it. We didn't deserve a result today.
I don't mind when managers are like sore losers or whatever, because that's part of the mentality that makes them as good as they are. But there's something with Pep and Klopp that there's something like a lack of class or a lack of respect when they do lose. Like, they never just give someone their props. It's, I don't know.
Do you know what?
I like that kid.
On behalf of me and Shane and everybody watching, this is for you. Kino! I love that.
No, but no, to be fair, like when you take all this into consideration, I'm sick to death, right? I'm sick to death of Liverpool saying this means more and their football royalty and they have all these rights to say that they're above everybody. Yes, you've been playing well the last 4 or 5 years. But when you actually take this into consideration, you must be brain dead if you think teams like who want to be competitive, want to win trophies, are going to roll over for you at Anfield. Like at the end of the day, they do really need to actually reevaluate their attitude as a club, because at the end of the day, they're rattled by Manchester United who are in transition. Like we're still a team in transition. We're still a team building. I agree with Gary Neville. I think we're still a team building, but they are rattled by Manchester United, and that is the truth.
I think Ollie got the tactics spot on. In fact, he was kind of let down by performances from a few players. But the only frustrating thing is the last 20 minutes when we kind of came out a bit, the game looked like it was there for us. So that's why you kind of feel let down. But you can't really, it's fine. A point away at Anfield is good.
Yeah, absolutely. A point away at Anfield is...
Go on, son. Fucking love that shit.
And Tim just said there, I don't know if I can fit this whole rant into one clip. Look, it doesn't matter. But anyway... There are my thoughts on the Liverpool game. Again, you're sore losers, and don't worry. When you come to Old Trafford on the weekend, when we beat you on the weekend, I don't want to hear any more crying. When we beat you on the weekend, I do not want to hear any more crying or any more bullshit. Just take the defeat. If that happens, if Manchester United beat you on the weekend and Bruno scores a penalty, I do not want to hear any of this penalty bullshit. I do not want to hear Manchester United pay the referees. Just take your fucking defeat. Simple as fucking that.
Yeah, when you think about it, that game at Anfield, that was the United side without Amad Diallo playing. So you think about the FA Cup, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Like.
I can't even drink my water after you said that. But
it's going to be curtain storm, I think, when he
fucking absolute podcast royalty I am on with tonight, I tell you.
Oh, stop. Anyway, right. That I needed to get that off my chest. I really did. I've been boiling.
What did you actually really think then?
No, but honest to God, I thought it was a good point. Like I said on a previous podcast 2 weeks ago, when the Burnley game was announced as our game in hand, I said just before the Liverpool game, I said you give me 4 points out of them 2 games and I'll be happy. Now, obviously, hindsight's a beautiful thing. Last year I said hindsight's 2020, right? It's still 2020 because we were fucked with COVID. That we're just looking back at that year with this or disgust, right?
Don't mention it.
Yeah, absolutely. But hindsight's a beautiful thing.
I do think McFred has to go, though. I think he needs to be braver, especially at home. Like since the Spurs game, he's gone McFred the whole time. And to be fair, like since he's been doing that, we haven't been losing against the top 6 really in the league, apart from Arsenal aren't part of top 6, but you know what I mean. But we're not scoring with them in the team, and he obviously doesn't trust Pogba to play in the middle of the big games, but I think he can. I think he needs to be a bit braver and just play Pogtich instead of McFred. Because it just hurts us. It hurts.
The whole town is texting me about my fucking rant, for fuck's sake. Oh, yeah, but I agree, Shane.
It kills us because you saw the first half an hour at Anfield, and Liverpool rolled over us because we just couldn't get a foothold in the game because McTominay and Fred couldn't get on the ball. So that's why I think you need Pogba or Van de Beek or someone in there that's just going to be able to get on it more than the two of them.
Yeah.
I think when you're playing the counter-attack, Fred and if you're playing a deep line with, and we all know Lindelof and Maguire need cover, particularly when you go into Anfield and grounds like that. But I feel like it's just the legs that Ollie went for, and you get a little bit of bite with Fred and McTominay, and they won't necessarily be bullied. But I totally agree. Like when I said earlier, when I was giving my opinion on it, we were losing the ball too much. But McTominay and Fred ain't great on the ball. Like they're just not. That it's the one part of their game what they need to work on is their passing ability. Like their decision making sometimes just gets us into trouble. And I feel like with Matic, he's got such a level head when he's got the ball. He might not have the legs, but the football brain and the passing ability doesn't leave him, and he keeps it very simple. And I do like the partnership of McTominay and Fred, but I feel like it's got to be justified for certain games. And I was going to put on my Twitter half time in the Liverpool game. I ended up not putting it, but I writ it out and I was going to put this game's crying out for Matic. We're losing the ball too much, and but it's horses for courses. Don't get me wrong. Like, we got a positive result. If we would have lost that game, people would have probably been asking more questions. But I'm under your opinion, Shane, that he does need to be a little bit braver sometimes. Maybe
they obviously have their uses, but they're all right. But I just think we give up a bit too much going forward, especially in the big games where you need someone to be braver and more secure on the ball. The teams are going to be pressing you, but Matic is a strange one, because Matic can still be really good in his day, but his he's only
he can only play one game a week. I think that's the problem. He can only play one game a week, and that his legs are gone. I think that's a very big problem. One thing I'd like to touch on, though.
Leicester are beating Chelsea.
I don't know if should I even celebrate that, because I know I want to banter Sean, but Leicester are more challengers to us than Chelsea are.
I think we need a draw. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what.
Positive.
They're both below.
I think the positive thing as well was that nobody seems to be talking about was we were defensively very good against Liverpool.
Yeah,
really I'm not going to sit here and be hypocritical. When the team come out, the first thing I looked for and thought, he's put Victor in, isn't he? It's the first thing I thought straight away, and I thought he's put Victor in instead of Eric, and it's a case of. Oh God, why has he gone for Lindelof? Surely we need pace against this Liverpool front three, particularly on that side of the pitch where Mane comes in quite a lot. Yeah. And I thought the back four was absolutely fantastic. Wan-Bissaka defensively, I can't help but admire watching him. I just wish he would improve his attacking game, because that is the complete fullback if he can do that. And Luke Shaw was the best player on the pitch by a mile. Since Tellez has come in, he has been absolutely fantastic. He has. And he doesn't get enough praise from our fan base at all.
Yeah, I agree. All the talk about Liverpool's fullbacks, and to be honest, our two fullbacks outperformed theirs easily the weekend. But
I thought Alexander-Arnold was poor for them.
He's been shit.
That looks like shit. Jamie, what's that you're drinking? That looks like Smidwick's in the pint.
No, it's a Tennent's Cup, which
it's lean, I think.
Which I snuck out of a bar in Scotland. So shout out to the pub that I got that from.
The one thing I'd like to touch on to support your points there, lads, just in terms of the McTominay and Fred duo partnership. I think we can eventually abandon that if Eric Bailly can stay fit, because when Bailly's there, he provides us with a platform to play that bit higher. And I think the reason why McTominay and Fred there play is to help the deficiencies.
We just need a DM, because that's where he goes to. The two of them are doing the job of one player.
Yeah. We need the guy that Amy's just mentioned. That's who we need, Ndidi.
I don't really like Ndidi because he's not secure enough on the ball.
I really like him.
He's really good defensively, but I feel like.
What about John Frank? He done a great job for me at Fulham.
Oh, stop!
I'm joking. I tell you what about Sander Berge though? Serious conversation.
I really want Douglas Luiz, I think, is deadly, but I think City have first refusal on him, so I don't think that could happen.
I'm going to say one player, even though I know Dale O'Donnell is going to text me the minute I say this. Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice will be.
Declan Rice is money.
To be fair, right? I think he's a class holding midfielder. I think Chelsea are going to get him in the summer, but I'm really swallowing my pride here when I say Declan Rice, because I can't stand the fucker. But
you know who I think's another really? He's not necessarily a defensive-minded player, but do you know who I think's seriously overrated in the Premier League as well? John McGinn. Absolutely does the dirty work, man. He's
He's a
absolutely
left-footed Scott McTominay.
You watch. Nah, he's better than Scott McTominay, mate.
Yeah, he's
miles
a lot
better
of
than Scott
quality.
McTominay.
It's weird one because he looks like a little try-hard rugby player, like, but
Yeah.
he's really good, like, and he has that quality as well, like. But I really like.
There ain't that many world-class DMs out there, man. When you actually like sort of fathom it, look at it. There ain't that many world-class. That's why I was like all up for signing that Saicedo kid, because I thought, you know what have we got to lose? Like 4.5
We just need a
million.
body in there, like. Yeah.
But
fucking, we really missed the trick not signing Fabinho, because I remember that summer and he was giving interviews and he was just pure slotting for United, wanting us to sign him, and we just wouldn't go in for him, and we signed Matic instead.
Fantastic player for Fabinho.
Well, do you know who we can blame for that? Really, we all know who to blame for that signing, don't we? The man who's managing that small club down in North London. But anyway,
he's fucking criminal there. He's actually a criminal there. Anyway,
with regards to Manchester United, because literally we've gone in nearly a half an hour into the show and we still have a lot to get through. I apologise for my.
That's your fault. Yeah. Don't look at me and Shane.
I just want to say, Luke Shaw might be back, lads.
Oh, he is back.
He actually might be back. I remember saying this on a podcast ages ago, Keane, that it's annoying because there's definitely a good player in him, like, but he never performs unless his position is on the track. He did the same last season when Williams came into the team. He was playing shit. Williams came in the team and then he started playing well. Then Williams, after falling off, and he stopped playing well. He did the same with Young under Mourinho, and now since Tellez come in, he's just been the shit, like, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think that comes down to obviously that he knows, like, when Williams and Ashley Young were there, no disrespect to the two of them, but they're average level left fullbacks, right? When you put Alex Tellez in there, he's a very good left back, and Shaw knows if he underperforms, he's out straight away. So I think the signing of Alex Tellez is probably one of the best things to happen for Luke Shaw in his Manchester United career. Yeah. Just obviously looking at Manchester United at the moment, like, we're still top of the league at the moment, and we got a point at Liverpool. Not many teams go there and get a result. Fuck you, Liverpool. But with all things considered, Manchester United still top the table. 21 in many Manchester United fans' eyes is coming home. Shane, I'm going to come to you firstly on the back of the weekend's game against Liverpool and the fact we've avoided defeat and we're still top of the table. Are Manchester United still title contenders?
We are, like, funny, like, it's different. Like, I don't think we're going to win it, but like, you can't really say we're not, because we're almost halfway through the year and we're still top. I think eventually we'll probably fall short, but you never know. Like, we're going well at the moment, and we do have a lot of firepower. Like, we're already thereabouts. And when you think about Martial's not started scoring yet. Greenwood's not started scoring yet. Cavani's not even got a lot of goals either. So, like, we have a few players that you'd expect are going to go up a level for the second half of the season. So I think we'll fall short, but I think we'll be thereabouts. And that's all I want. Like, so I finished third last year. If we could just stay in it till, like, when does the season end? May? If we were in it up until, if we're in it up with like 10 games to go, and if we fall off, whatever, because no one expected us to win the league, but it'll just show progress. Do you know what I mean? And that's just all I want. Like, and then if we could do nice business in the summer, we can go closer and maybe give it a proper crack next year. But at the moment, you have to say, like, we are part of it. So, but we will win it, like.
I love it. I love it, Shane.
I don't want to say it, but he's restoring the feeling, like, you know. And if I'm being realistic, we won't, but I want to say we will. Do you know what I mean?
I think we can all take from Shane's words there that Manchester United are going to win the league this season. Jamie, I'm going to put them words in Shane Dowley's mouth, and that's going to be the thumbnail for when the video gets shared tomorrow.
21 and 21.
21 and 21, absolutely.
21.
Jamie,
anybody that watches me regularly on this channel, and Keane's put it out on social media as well, knows that I'm going to be hosting soon. So I'm going to give it a little crack for everybody that's watching. You're watching this. Watch this one. Dowley, stop sitting on the fence. Yes or no? Are we going to win the league?
We're going to have it wrapped up with 8 games to go.
There he is.
Going to hit the ground.
There he is. Quality, man, love it.
Jamie, how are you feeling about our title permutations?
Yeah, I've said my piece on here a few times. I feel like I'm I was gonna say I'm sitting on the fence with Shane, but I feel like we'll be there or thereabouts. At the weekend proved to me that we can play with the big boys, so to speak. I don't think we'll win it in the end, unfortunately, because I think down the stretch our fitness level to play, and I think we'll go deep into the Europa League as well. I think we might just fall short, but if we're there or thereabouts with 2 or 3 games to go, who knows? And that's and to be honest with you, and this is me just talking purely with my head and not my heart, because my heart will tell me we're going to win it. If we're there or thereabouts with 3-4 weeks to go, then why not? Because the season's been so unpredictable. You look at Chelsea; they were supposed to be the champions elect this year, getting beat by Leicester. So Chelsea ain't turned up. Man City have been struggling, but sort of come into form now. Liverpool have really been struggling.
Yeah, such a weird one, man.
They were the standard that everybody needed to reach. They were the best team in the world, apparently. And we've just come away from their home ground. Yeah, there was no fans there. I get that, which does play a part, by the way. But like we're winning ugly, and that's the thing we haven't been able to do for years. We ain't been able to do it since Ferguson left. And that's what I say. Like, it ain't about pretty little wins all the time. It's about playing rubbish and winning games. Ferguson done year on, year out. Every single season, we had at least 11 to 12 games under Ferguson where we weren't good, but we won in the last couple of minutes. Hence, Fergie time, But I'm just enjoying the ride because I love how rattled everybody's getting about this Man United that has apparently finished. So I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. Yeah, they are nervous because we're not slipping up yet, but I think we will slip up, but I don't think we're going to be the only one. Everyone's going to drop points from now until the end of the season. The league is super competitive this year, and it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, if we're there or thereabouts, who knows? So we're a very good squad. The thing that I think might shoot us down in the end, and I've said it on here many of occasions, is the end quality in the final third. We don't score enough goals to finish games off, and I feel like it will end up coming back to bite us in the back.
Jamie, don't worry. Bruno's going to score about 15 more penalties. It's all right, but
yeah, I love the way everybody's writing him off as well. Like, he's finished.
Don't worry. I have to address that too by the end of this show.
He's just tired. Like, you know what I mean? Give the guy a chance, and I feel like we're missing a trick with Van der Beek as well, man. Like, I really do. Like, I don't know what's happened. I don't know if he's had a fallout with Ollie or something in training. I don't know what's going on, but how he's not being integrated into that team a little bit more is beyond me. But I'm not going to sit here and dispute that because I could be here all night. But we're getting results at the moment, so I ain't going to say nothing negative about Ollie. I ain't going to say nothing negative about many ways. Fantastic. So and Shane hit the nail on the head. Like, we've got the feel good factor, and I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep fucking saying it as well. And sorry for swearing because I don't like swearing on here, but I'm fucking sick of people telling us we're gonna fall off the cart. Like, we're 3 signings away from being a serious force again, and when we get them, and I just hope to God this summer the board go out and get him the players, because how much more does he have to prove now? Like, going out and signing Palestri and Traore, that's fantastic. Like, I'm all for bringing in young players, but go and get Ollie 3 players in 3 key positions. Centre-back, go and get a world-class centre-back. Go and give him a quality world-class defensive midfielder, and go and buy a proper right winger and maybe a striker, centre-forward, which has got a little bit more longevity. Go in the market for a centre-forward that's going to be there for years. I'm quite happy with that. We've got Cavani for another year. That's fine, but we need to be thinking long term, but we need to be thinking short term because we're not actually far away. And I said to the people in the office who I speak to, they're the only people I see at the moment, apart from you boys on here. So I said that just keep enjoying the fact that we're not quite there, because when we get them players, we are going to be there. and then you're going to see. I said it on my Twitter after the game. People ain't laughing at us anymore. Like they know what's happening, and the reason why the other fans are getting rattled is because they can see what's happening. We're not too far away, and when we get them players, we're going to be a real force. But the problem is, are we going to get the players? It's because it's the same old story every single window. I wish to God they would get themselves in a boardroom and say, do you know what? We get so much criticism off the fans. Let's give them what they want this time. Let's go out in the market with big sums of money. I get COVID's played a part in this summer. I get it. But now is the time to go and give him the money and get the players in that he wants. Third and fourth choice signings anymore. We're Manchester United, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? What do we want to do? Do we want to be that club that's just a top 4 team anymore? Or do we want to win the title? Because I know what I fucking want to do. I want to be champions of the country again. And I want to be in Manchester with everyone that's in these comments and used to with a fucking bottle of beer watching the bloody parade bus go by. That's what I want to do. So the time
singing
now,
Ollie's at the wheel when the parade bus is going past.
Yeah, because he is at the fucking wheel, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I know you don't like jinxing the word, and Tim, if you're listening, he is at the wheel. So yeah, that's my theory.
Dylan Donnelly's not going to like that in the comments. But we've a comment in from Dylan, which I'm going to get to in a second. With regards to this,
it is. I just said that earlier, Dylan, as well. Like it is a massive problem scoring goals. Like we get one goal, and then we have 2 or 3 chances to put the game to bed and go 2-0 up, and we miss them. But that's just because we've got a fantastic line to play on a counter attack. But as soon as we get into the final third, it's like their brain goes. Rashford's terrible for it. I absolutely love Marcus Rashford. And what he's doing off the pitch is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't put him any higher. But on the pitch, he loses his brain sometimes. All he needs to do is play a simple pass. He done it at the weekend. Why is he running into a crowd when he's got the pace to beat somebody down the left? Or why is he not slotting in Cavani, who made a brilliant little bent run? Thread him in. Give him the chance. If he don't score, that's fine. You've done your job as a winger. I've played on the wing. You know, it's about creating chances for other players sometimes. And him, Marshall, are consistently bad at that final ball. And that final ball, eventually is going to start costing us results, because when we break away, we are lethal on the counter-attack. But it's like on FIFA when you've toggled too much and you can't control it. And you just run out of play and you're like, fucking hell, what a chance, man. I'm 1-0 down here. That was my chance there. 2-on-1. Toggle too much. It's like Rashford needs to stop toggling. You know, like he just needs a level head.
One thing I would say there, I think that's what I was saying earlier about McTominay and Fred in the middle, that we don't score against the big 6, because usually against the big 6 we go to 2 of them. And to be fair, it seems like it's after showing us up defensively, but I think we give up too much going forward.
You look at the strikers we've had in the past: Rooney, Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy to a certain extent, all clinical, and particularly Van Persie and Rooney. They can pick that final pass that plays in another player. And some of the people in the comments might not like this, because I know these 3 players get fanboyed by a lot of people. But Greenwood, who's very young, so I'm not going to pick him out too much here, but I have to include him because sometimes he does it. Marshall and Rashford, they don't have a very good footballing brain when it comes to making that final pass and doing the right pass. You watch how many times they lose the ball when we're on the counter-attack, just by not picking the right pass. Sometimes you can have all the ability in the world, but if you can't analyze the game and put yourself in a position to make that final ball, to set up a Cavani or whoever's Bruno, Pogba, when they're coming and making late runs into the box, that eventually is what will cost us if we don't fix it. And I don't know how we fix it, because we can with Greenwood, but like Marcus and Tony are very far gone in their development. I know they're still young, but I can't see Marshall adding too much more to his game. And Marshall's very good at holding the ball up and bringing players in, but it's when he's running towards the goal and then he has to make that final pass. If you start looking for it, you'll both notice it, and people will notice it in the comments. It's not a secret. We're not very good with the final pass. Like, it's been a problem all season.
I agree with what Jamie's saying, but I think, like, say you're saying, say against the big six, like Dylan said in the comments, he's setting up kind of more defensively, which is fine. But then we're only making like 1 or 2 chances a game, and then when the decision making isn't off and we fluff them chances, we waste them. But I think the bigger issue is when we play Fred and McTominay in the middle, we're not creating enough chances because that's my point is we're giving up too much going forward. So when you're only making 1 or 2 chances a game in the big games, then when the player misses them, it stands out more. But I think the bigger issue is we're only creating like 1 or 2 chances a game. Now, I understand it's frustrating with the decision making, but I think that'll come in time. Fair enough, Martial is 25, and he's been around in the first team United a while, so maybe like he should be come on more. But Rashford is 23, and 2 years of that were under Mourinho, so he's really like 21, like John, because he's 2 years behind his development because Mourinho done nothing for him. He wasn't playing consistently.
Yeah.
I think you can see since Solskjaer's come, like everything in Rashford's game, I think is improving. To be fair to Solskjaer, like his off the ball movement, I think he's after coming on loads. I think he's a lot more mature. He paced himself better, and I think technically he's just polishing up his game a lot more. So I think the decision making will come. I understand that is an issue, but that's just something you deal with, I think, when you have young forwards like United do. I think the bigger issue is we create few chances, especially in the big games. We create such little chances, and I think that's a consequence of not having a DM. So you're having to play 2 kind of defensive-minded midfielders. Not that McTominay is defensive-minded, but they're not going to create a lot of chances.
Yeah.
So
there's one thing I'd just like to touch on, the fact that you both said it, and you've made kind of good points about in regards to like Martial and Rashford, but I just kind of go back to the kind of set up in big games, but also obviously with regards to Manchester United's title challenge. I think in the big games we can definitely improve. When you take into consideration Eric Bailly, I think he provides us a platform to play that bit higher. If he starts like we did against Everton when Bailly played centre half, we were able to play a Pogba and Bruno in the same midfield. Do you know what I mean? If Bailly can stay fit, he's someone who can help us play that higher line, which obviously he has the recovery pace in case we get caught in the break to make them recovery runs and intercept quickly. We've seen that this season when he's played for us. I think if Eric Bailly starts more games this season, we can maybe see Pogba do a partner of Fred or partner McTominay in there, and actually play that role because he plays there for France and he does quite well in that role. So, and that's because he's quick centre backs behind him in that regard who can who have that recovery pace to make them.
Just don't think that Pogba can play in that double pivot because he doesn't get picked there. Just because he doesn't get picked there and Ollie prefers somebody else, it doesn't mean he can't play it,
He
doesn't trust them.
It's just naive fans that don't, because they haven't seen him there for 10 plus games, they think that he automatically can't play it. It's like Van der Beek. When we played Van der Beek in one of them pivots,
we're not going to put this into a Van der Beek kind of
fantastic.
Yeah,
like
Ollie kind of draws the wrong conclusions. When we got bet 6-1 against Spurs, I remember before the Spurs game, Boy wasn't in the starting 11. It was Lindelof and Maguire. I think Boy played in the Carabao Cup then and he played well. So fans were all clamouring for Boy to start. So then he started and we lost 6-1. So then Ollie's come away from that was, fuck, I start Boy in the league and look what happened. So then he didn't play for a while. And it was the same with the Pogba and Matic midfield pair. He was like, I went to 2 of them against Spurs. We got battered 6-1. He's afraid of that happening again, so he doesn't want to go back. So I get, like that's why he wants to tighten things up with Fred and McTominay. But I think our most balanced and best midfield pairing is Pogba and Matic. I just
progressively going forward, that's probably our best partnership. But again, I don't think, as I said earlier on, Matic doesn't have the legs to play 2 games in a week.
It's just not reliable enough. Like, do you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people pick on the centre-back pairing, the defensive midfielder. I know you're obviously speak to you quite a lot off camera, Shane, and you're adamant we need that, and I totally agree with you. I know Dylan was saying that when he was on the programme last time, we need a DM as well, and we need a right winger. But the thing for me as well, and everybody that watches this and tunes in when I'm on this channel will know I love Cavani. I love Cavani like Keane loves Bruno. But the thing is for me, right, and this is the way the league is at the moment, and with these like sort of missed chances and like sort of to kill games off. I have no doubt, and no doubt in my mind what I'm going to say is an absolute fact. If we had Haaland in our attack, if he was the focal point of our attack, we would win the title because we would finish games off with him. That we're missing chances because he is a clinical out-and-out goal scorer. And Cavani is that, but he also plays a different type of... Cavani works very hard, whereas Haaland does a lot of his work in the penalty area. He is he is a striker. He will stay in the penalty area and he'll make runs in behind. He's aggressive in the air. Cavani's a different type of player. And I feel like what Dylan said there, in the bigger games, we don't ever really go for it. And I just hope at the end of the season, we don't look back on the games against City and Liverpool and think, if we didn't draw that game, if we would have won that game, we would have won the league. And that's where I am with it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Just kind of
the 180 we've done, because like last year we were brilliant against the big teams and it was the small teams we couldn't put away, and now it's kind of the opposite this year. And it's not a criticism of Bruno, but I feel like it's almost just he's not that suited for us playing on the break because, you know, his decision making isn't that like he forces things a lot, and I think that kind of it works against us when we're trying to hit big teams on the break, but it works brilliant against the smaller teams where we're going to have, because he's a high volume player. So if he tries a pass 5 times and it doesn't come off 3 times, it'll come off the other 2, but he's getting like the five chances to do it. When the bigger teams, when we're playing on the break, he's not going to have the same opportunities for it to come off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. Like, it's just weird how like we're completely different this season. It's the opposite. Like, we're better playing against low blocks this season than we were last season.
Yeah. Just kind of touching on Fulham, lads, because obviously we've kind of just disrespected them. We haven't even talked about them the whole way through the show. So I do apologise with regards to the listeners with regards to that. I suppose, like, you look at Fulham recently, they've been playing all right football. They dropped 2 points against Spurs when really they should have picked up all 3. And, you know, that was a shock result for Fulham. They should have got all 3 points there that day. But when you look at this game, Manchester United, I think we've Liverpool in the FA Cup on the weekend. That's a very important game. Like, you look at that's kind of a chance for us to like beat them and kind of put them on more of a downward spiral than they already are. Because 2021 doesn't seem to be a good year for them because we're winning 21 and 21. I've just said that we're going to do it. So like all things considered, I'm just going to come to both of you quickly. Obviously, starting 11s, Manchester United in the recent weeks have been very good at rotation. And Ollie's done very well with rotating the team. So Shane, I'm going to come to you first. In terms of starting 11 predictions, where's your head at? What do you think the team should be? Do you maybe think Bruno Fernandes should get maybe a much-deserved rest? He's played a lot of football. Harry Maguire's on the verge of suspension. Luke Shaw's on the verge of suspension. Do you maybe rest them 3? Who comes into the team for you this week against Fulham?
To me, Bruno looks wrecked. Like, I want to rest him, but then all he was saying in his press conference, he's not tired, but I think he's just protecting him. That kind of, I go De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Boy and Maguire. No, I rest Maguire because he plays the whole time. So I go Lindelof, Boy, and I'd rest Shaw and play Tellez. I'd go Pogba, Matic in the middle. I go Rashford right, Van de Beek 10, rest Bruno, and Martial left and Cavani up top. Probably. Am I leaving out a forward there? Because I don't really want to. No. I don't really like starting Cavani.
No, you're not. No, you're not leaving out anybody.
Yeah, and then, you know, if we need to go last 10 minutes to save Joseph for Amadiala to make his debut, so we'll be fine.
I love it, Shane. I absolutely love it. Jamie, what's your starting 11 for Fulham?
I'm not just saying this,
I know you have a sentimental factor with them because I know you've done your FIFA career mode with them.
He's conflicted.
I know. I'm
just a bit like show the game.
Just a bit like, who'd be best to play against Sigurdsson and Fleck in that midfield? And then with a prefer Shaw or Tellez up against Cantwell. I'd go with the same sort of lineup as Shane, but the feeling for me is it's another game. It's one step at a time for me. It's not right. We've got Liverpool at the weekend. We need to rest players. I think he probably will go for more midfield, maybe a Pogba and Matic, because I feel like Fred and McTominay will play again against Liverpool because in Ollie's eyes it worked well, and I think Ollie's very consistent with his tried and trusted when he gets results against teams. He done it with Lampard, with Daniel James. He kept picking him against Chelsea because we beat them 3 times, and then it obviously bit us in the backside when they beat us in the FA Cup semi-final, which was a bit disappointing. But I feel like that team's probably not too far off. I think he will play Maguire, and maybe I don't know who he'll play next to him. But it's one step at a time for me. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got a job to do. If Leicester win tonight, I could be wrong here, but I think they might go top.
I'm going to check the table right now. They're winning now, so I'm going to check the table as it stands. Leicester City are top of the league if they win. So come on, Chelsea, pull a fucking goal back, you shit bastards.
Will they be top of the league?
Yeah, they will be. So we've got a win tomorrow. You know, like it's all well and good. It's all well and good, sort of talking about us being top of the league and this and all that, but it's another game, and Fulham have picked up some decent points against some decent teams this year, so we can't take our eye off the ball. But Mackay's left, isn't he? So we'll be all right.
From me, so what I'm actually going to go with something different to the both of you. I'm going to go with the diamond, but it's going to be a very attacking diamond. So first of all, I'm going to go obviously David De Gea between the 6. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, and Boy Lindelof 2 centre halves. I think we need to keep Maguire clear from suspension. I'm going to go with Alex Telles at left back for his output, and give Luke Shaw a much needed rest, and he's also on the verge of suspension. With me, my diamond is similar to what we went with against Everton in the Carabao Cup, and when we went there and just dominated the ball. I'm going for that same type of approach. I'm going with Nemanja Matic at the holding position in diamond. To the right of him, I'm going Donny van de Beek. To the right of him, Paul Pogba to the left of the diamond, and at the tip of the diamond, Bruno Fernandes does not start this game for me. I think he's tired. I think he needs a rest. I think this man needs, if we're going to win the title this year, we're going to win trophies, that man needs to be kept fresh. And see all this fucking propaganda, this all bullshit I'm seeing on social media. I'm going to call every single of you out. Without this man, last season, we would have finished 7th in the table. We would not have finished top 4. Without his goals this season, we wouldn't be top of the league. So all these little agendas he's been waiting to drive since the minute since he started playing well. You all came out of the woodwork. So you done this at the end of last season, and you're doing it now. Cop the fuck on. Seriously, cop the fuck on. If you have any bit of football nous about you, you know he's our best player. Like, seriously, him and Paul Pogba are 2 best players, and people try to put them compete against each other. Just be happy that we have both of them at our club. Seriously, get over yourself.
I'm going to feel like shit. Fuck's
sake. Look, he's a quality football player, but for the time being, Manchester United fans need to be happy that we've 2 world-class midfielders in our midfield. So why try pit them against each other when we should be happy that we have the both of them? Do you see City fans saying that they have Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne? Do they compare them? No, they don't. Well, they don't have that many fans, but you know yourself, like, do you know what I mean? You don't see City fans doing it, but you know what I mean? It's that same thing. Penalty Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Amy makes a good point, by the way.
So I'm just about. Yeah. I have Juan Mata at the tip of the diamond. Yeah. I have Juan Mata at the tip of the diamond because I think he'd do very well in that role, linking up with Van de Beek and Pogba. And I think, look, Bruno needs a rest. I can't stress this enough. Ollie, I know you don't listen to this podcast, but if you do happen to find this clickbait on Twitter somehow, rest Bruno Fernandes tomorrow. Bring him off the bench and score a penalty to score a 4th goal or something, but rest Bruno Fernandes. Please.
And if you are watching this, Ollie, 99, baby!
I don't think he's going to rest him, to be honest.
I don't think he is either.
I don't either.
I think you play him against Fulham and he might rest him against Liverpool in the Cup, because I think just looking at how he played against Liverpool the last time, Ollie probably set up similar enough. Again, he might play Van de Beek. Yeah, he might play Van de Beek instead, just to hold on to the ball a bit more, just a bit more security, like, you know, so they don't build pressure as much. Just to say they're after overturning the penalty, it's a free kick instead, it's outside the box. Fuck Chelsea.
Anyway, I'm actually going to go with my two strikers. Marcus Rashford is also getting a rest in this game. Jamie, I slightly disagree with you in terms of his decision making. Marcus Rashford has been our second most consistent player this season, behind Bruno Fernandes this year, in terms of scoring goals this season. I think, like, look, fans can. There's been a Marcus Rashford agenda as well. Loads of these fans have come out of the woodwork in the last couple of days. I'm convinced these people aren't Manchester United supporters, because the minute they just look for constant negativity, like they really do.
Yeah,
I think
it's not a big thing. I think it's been an issue since he broke into the first team. Like, he isn't clinical enough in front of goal, but he isn't an out and out goal scorer, and he isn't a winger either. So I do feel for him with regards to his final end product. I feel like it's just a bit of naivety in his game, and it's like Shane said, he's got time on his hands. But I can't buy into the fact that he doesn't have an issue with his end quality. If you think that, Keane, that's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong, mate. But for me, he's got all the ability in the world. He just needs that final end product when he's always crossing. And to be honest with you, and I'll hold my hands up here, I thought he was awful against Liverpool. I thought Marshall was unlucky to go off because he was offering us a lot more. But
he was knackered though, weren't he? Martial was knackered.
That's why
he is fantastic. He is a fantastic
player. Too harsh on Ali. Sorry, Jamie. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just saying that. I'm not questioning his ability towards his contribution to the team.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic player. Absolutely love Marcus Rashford. But I just feel like there's a couple of players there that we need to work on a couple of things. But it's about progression. Like, as I say, this squad ain't the finished article yet. There's a lot of young players that are going to get better. So that was the only hindrance for me with Marcus. He's got everything else. It's just his end priority.
That's what it doesn't really trouble me with Rashford, because I feel like that will come to him. Because you look at Rashford when he first came through on the Fangat, and he was just so raw. Like, he was very much like a hit and run type of player, just abusing his pace. Like, and you look at him now, and he's just added so much to his game, his movement off the ball and the way he used the ball. And so, like, I think he strikes me as someone who works really hard off the pitch. And
you look at the type of winger that Ferguson had at the club. Sorry, Shane, to cut you off. Like with on the right Ronaldo, on the left Giggs. When we were like going back in the years, Kanchelskis, Lee Sharp, they all had fantastic delivery from a wide position. Yeah. And football's changed. I do get that. I'm not naive enough to think that football hasn't changed and the tactics ain't different. But you can't tell me Rashford and Marshall would be in a Ferguson team on that left-hand side of the field. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by, like, they're not traditional wingers. They're in a front three and they're
how many traditional wingers are there out there these days? All these wingers now are all inverted forwards now. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're all like inverted wingers. That's what they are. Like, I think the most natural winger you'd probably see out there now, on probably if you played him on the left hand side, would probably be Saka. Even Saka for Arsenal, like,
I think Sané is like...
He's another one though, Keane. Saka. Like, I know we're going to talk about Arsenal, but even his end product isn't fantastic yet.
Does he that thing against Chelsea, no?
I didn't. What dink against Chelsea?
The one he meant to cross. The one he meant to cross, and it went...
Oh, God knows. I thought you were sort of asking me whether I've seen something there. I was like, no, I didn't. But... I don't watch Arsenal a lot, so
I agree.
I'll ask William how it got on.
I agree with Jamie though. Like, I think Rashford, like, his decision making isn't quite there yet, but I think it'll come. My problem is that there's so many United fans, and they genuinely they don't like him. Like, you know, when he's playing well, and they don't.
You're right, Keane. Half of them ain't even Man U fans.
Yeah, and the second
we're not going to name them. We're not going to name them. We know who they are.
The second he does something wrong, they go so over the top, and you see it then on Twitter like a day or two after the match, and they're still analysing this little mistake. You know, like, get the fuck over it. Like, do you know, like, they're too happy to pounce on him when something goes wrong, and then when he has a bad game, they turn it into this big, massive dialogue like that. Oh, there's a real problem. It's like, he's not. He's a young player, and he's one of our best players, and he's been brilliant these last 2 years under Ollie. And there are a couple of kinks in his game, but he's also ironed out a lot of kinks that were in his game when Ollie did take over, and I've complete confidence in him that he'll work out the rest of them as well. And I think it's only a matter of time before if he's not already, he will be one of the best players in the league easily. I think he's so good, and there's so many wingers that get compared to him, and they're not half the fucking player Rashford is.
Yeah,
and just picking out of Tony or Rashford going forward, like as in longevity wise, Tony leaves for me. Like Rashford's staying. I hope Rashford sees his career out at Man United. I can't stress enough. I absolutely love him, but it doesn't mean I can't criticise him as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
there's a fine balance between criticising and hating, and that.
Like if you've seen the group chat Sunday,
when Ollie made that clear when he came in.
Like if you looked at our group chat Sunday, who was the first player I criticised, lads? Bruno Fernandes, and he's my favourite player. He's my favourite player. No player is immune from criticism. But anyway, just because obviously I know Jamie has to jump off, he's jump onto another show literally in 2 seconds. So I'm literally just going to say my last two forwards. I've Greenwood and Cavani in there. I think Martial picked up a knock last week. I know he played against Liverpool and came off. So look, I think we need to wrap him up. I think we play him against Liverpool at Old Trafford to exploit space. And obviously Greenwood and Cavani both need game time, and they're both clinical strikers. And I think in this diamond, having them up front.
I forgot Greenwood. That's what I was forgetting about. I play Greenwood instead of Cavani just because I think Cavani is better coming off the bench, and I want to give Greenwood as much time as possible to play himself into a bit of form. Sorry to interrupt you. I just knew I was forgetting someone.
Yeah, that's perfect. And look, finally, because I know Jamie actually has to jump off, and look, we've had a great chat tonight, and I think
Jamie.
What's that?
Nice to get on you. Get on the show.
Good to see your pretty face anyway. usually in the comments clogging our comments up, so it's nice to have you on
here. Look, with regards to score predictions, because this is always a part of the show where I always give it the big, and this week is going to be different because I don't think he's going to start. But Jamie, score predictions for you: Manchester United versus Fulham. The club you support against the club you manage on FIFA. Who's winning this game?
2 great lows.
Them days are over. I think we win comfortably. I think they'll sort of try and play hardball with us and put 9 to 10 men behind the ball at times. But it's up to us to break us down, and we've got players that in that squad that are more than capable of playing nice, intricate football through the lines. So if they're used and they're used well, we win. And I'm pretty sure, and don't quote me on this if I did get this wrong, Amy, but I think you said 2-0, and I'm going to go with your prediction. Did you say 2-0? I'm looking at the comments.
No, it's 2-0 to Leicester. Is it?
Oh, right. I thought she meant 2-0 as in what was the prediction. Yeah, well, 2-0 anyway. Sorry about that, Amy. You're keeping us up to date with the games. I do apologise, but yeah, 2-0 for me.
Shano?
3-1 United. I think we might go a goal down, but 3-1. I think we'll win comfortably enough in the end, because I think they will sit off us quite a bit, and I think we've actually been okay playing against a team sitting in this season more so than last. So I think we'll win comfortably enough. Hopefully we can score, take the lead early enough, so Bruno, the likes of Bruno and that, don't have to come on. Hopefully he gets a proper rest. So
there she is. Yeah, in the comments. 2-0.
I'm going to echo them thoughts as well. I think Man United will keep a clean sheet tomorrow. However, I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester United. I'm going to be spontaneous here at this prediction. I know, Tim, if you're watching, clip this up. I'm going to go Edison Cavani to get on the score sheet. I'm also going to go with Pogba getting on the score sheet as well. And also, the spontaneous prediction, Mr. Amad Diallo to come off the bench. Superstar comes on and scores a goal. Scores the 3rd goal for Manchester United.
I'd be so fucking happy, man, if he comes on. Honestly, I
get really confused when people call him Diallo. Like for me, he's Adam Traore.
Yeah, he wants to be called.
What? Yeah, Diallo, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's like an energy drink in Spain, isn't it? Like, But I'm like, I get really confused when people say it because in my head it's like it's Adam Traore. Like, just leave the Diallo bit out. Like,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Well, Man United are calling Diallo for the moment, so that's what I'm going to go with. But again, just to reiterate, I'm going to go Cavani. I'm going to go Mr. Labil Paul Pogba, and also I'm going to go with Amad Diallo to come off the bench to get the third goal for Manchester United to wrap up the game. Or alternatively, if he doesn't score against Fulham, he has his Martial moment against Liverpool at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. Now, how romantic would that be?
Melt like a candle, man. If
But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for getting in the comments this evening. And if you missed the start of the show, I do recommend you check that out because it got very heated at the start. I'm not going to tell you what happened. Go back and watch it. But again, thanks to everyone for watching. Again, this week we do have a packed lineup on the weekly armchair kickoff this week. So this Thursday, the London Lowdown is back. Our London show is back this week. So Sean Maroney is joined by a full panel of guests. Sean will be joined by Jack Clemson, who's making a return to the channel. William Bryant, the most passionate Arsenal supporter in the podcast, is also there. I know Shane will probably be in the comments addressing that. And also Steve McGrath
keep
is also
boys
there.
on their toes.
Steve McGrath is also going to be on the show as well. So they're going to be talking all things Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham. And also this Friday, for the second week in a row, Manchester United versus Liverpool preview. And if you watch the start of tonight's show, you think you do know that I'm going to have another few choice words for Liverpool fans that come on this channel this week.
Before you go as well, Keane, did anybody see that picture of all the Arsenal fans, supporters celebrating when they scored against Newcastle?
It was social distancing, yeah.
All of them grouped up together, and then someone, you've probably seen it. Someone 10th in the league, and I sent a little message to William saying, "Seen this, thought of you," and I didn't hear anything back. So I just want to make sure you're okay, William, if you're watching this, and if you're not listening to this, come outside, William.
William doesn't show up unless United get a penalty. I swear to God, these days since Arsenal have been having some on-field troubles, I only see his name in the chat when United get a penalty. That's the only time I see him these days. So I don't know.
Just checking up on you, William.
Just want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, but just to reiterate, Manchester United, at the moment, we're not top of the league, but don't worry. 3 points against Fulham. And guess what, lads? We're back in our perch. But thanks everyone for watching this evening. Very good show. Thanks to the two lads for coming on as well. As always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. A lot of content to come. And as we all know, Manchester United are back, baby. Ollie's at the wheel. Cheers everyone for watching. 21. And again, 21-21. And we'll be back this later on this